Hi, hey everybody doing on YouTube world. This is Maurice Mathis again with Chica's Place on the second part of this video. We're talking about the first part of her life when she first got the implant done. It was 1994 to 1999, and I got a couple of questions to ask her about her life between that time after she had the device implanted in her. How you doing, Chica?
I'm better.
She's better. She's in here again with me, and we're finna go through some questions and everything and talk about some very specific parts after the recovery of her surgery of the first implant. Okay, Chica, what made you go to the hospital first when you noticed that, that you needed to go? What really made you go to the hospital first?
Well, it was the I kept having pain on the top of my left breast, and in retrospect, it was really like just a little irritation. But Dr. Lau, well, first my doctor, he checked me, but he said, let's be sure. So he had me have the breast,
the breast augmentation.
No,
the actual. Oh, you talking about the breast exam?
Exam, and
okay.
And he said he didn't see anything either, my own doctor. But then he said, well, let's call in a specialist,
right.
Oncology specialist. So we called, and he called in Dr. Lau. He introduced him to me. I was sitting in his office crying in his arms because I told him, he says, you really don't believe you have cancer? And I said, no, sir, I do not.
So the thing that made you stay or made you go back, because he said he's seen it, the specialist seen it, but the regular doctor didn't see it?
Nope. My doctor didn't see it, and the radiologist who read the test that I had to do, he didn't see it.
He didn't see it at all?
Nope.
Okay. Now, with that being said, you had two opinions on both of your doctors. You had one to tell you, no, you don't. I don't see it. Actually, you had two doctors against one.
Right.
Saying, okay, your radiologist is specialized in seeing the stuff that's inside your body, and radio, giving you exams or x-rays, looking at your actual body part and saying, no, I don't see anything. But the same guy the different guy come in who's the specialist, say he sees something. Something's not right about that. Right. And we're going to get further along into that.
Yeah, because
go ahead.
The radiologist asked the nurse to step out. And when he asked the nurse to step out, he very softly said to me, he says, I don't see anything wrong with your breast.
Right. So when he told you that, in your mind, was you thinking, I don't have it now, but you said, did they already tell your mother by then?
No. In my mind, I was thinking something suspicious.
Right. Okay,
because he's an expert too. And he was trying, to me, it seemed like more like he was warning me. Because he was like, he said, I really don't see anything wrong with your breast. Cancer does not run in our family.
Exactly. So it should have been, it would have been hereditary if...
And I was crying, because that's why I cried to my doctor at Kaiser. Because I was like, I don't have it. I know I don't.
Exactly. How many surgeries did you have when you got the breast, reduction, the breast cancer removed? How many surgeries did you have right in the middle of that?
I had two.
You had two surgeries.
Yes. The first one was when he took me, and he took me down, and they removed my left breast.
Right, for nothing.
Yeah, like for nothing.
Because if you would have, I got one more thing to say. If they would have removed your left breast, you would have been feeling the cancer sicknesses.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling anything except I was just a little tender on the top.
Okay.
But then when the radiologist told me, and he asked the nurse to step out, and he told me himself, he said, there is nothing wrong with your breast.
Exactly. But then you said they manipulated you and woke you back up.
And brought me back
to the hospital. And you woke up and you noticed that, hey.
He had disfigured me. He took off my breast.
The whole thing. Now, if they said they would have showed you where they found the cancer at.
Exactly.
But they didn't show you that at all?
No. I was never shown where the lump was or anything. And then even to go a step further, what they said was, if, this is what Dr. Lau said, if anybody asked, out of 22 lymph nodes, you had one removed. And it was in one.
It was in one of the little circles.
In the lymph node.
They could have removed that separately, but we'll get back into that a little bit later. Okay, you told us about that's the first surgery. What was the second surgery that you had? You said the doctor was messing with your sutures.
Okay.
And he was pressing on them.
Right. When after I was in recovery, and I had them laughing because I was telling them how I would get to see what was it? Good Times and Jeffersons, and I had them laughing. I said, "Oh, good! I'll get out in time to see Good Times and Jeffersons." So they took me back to. I went to my room, and they hadn't even brought my plate yet. And here he came, and he stood in the door looking puzzled, but he was like doing like this. And then I looked at him and I said hello. And he just walked up because my arm was braced up like this. And he started squeezing where he had just cut. And of course, when he did that, I was bleeding internally. So I started sliding down the bed, going out. The nurse was right there. The RN was right there.
Watching?
Yeah. And I heard her, before I passed out, I heard her telling another doctor, because they call a code something, and telling another doctor that he was just, her words were, he was just squeezing the sutures, just squeezing them. Why did he do that? Like that.
Exactly. And
then next thing I know, the room was full of doctors, and then one nurse, she slapped my leg, and I remember saying, if you slap it again, I'm going to slap you. Because that was hurting. She hit me real hard. She didn't want me to pass out, but I was already going under.
Exactly. Well, she was doing that to save your life, actually. All right, now the question 4, you was talking about how they manipulated your mind with certain things that made you think certain things wasn't right, made you think, certain things that was, like you said, people was outside your door, how you talked about the police and all that stuff, how they manipulated you. Now talk to us about that part.
Okay, you talking about when my mother warned me? Okay, there was a young man that lived right across the way from me. And I would hear him tell my mom, that's not right. That's not right. And what they were doing was, I don't know if they were using what do you call it? Those guns that make you...
Tasers.
Tasers. Yeah, I didn't know if they were tasing me. I didn't know what they were using, but it was making me nauseous. I would wake up. They would not... My grandson then was a little baby, so he slept in my bed with me. So my mom woke me up one night, and she was like, she just pointed. And so when she pointed, I was just looking, and I was like, what? And
exactly.
Yeah.
Question number 5. What was going on between the years of 1994 and 96 after you had got the operation and you noticed that you was changing outside, physically, mentally? You noticed you was changing. What was really going on between those years? Like, what was you going through, and how was your, your change up? How did you change with the times then?
It was pretty scary. I'll have to put it like this. It's like, here you are, you have a head thing in your ear, right? Somebody's talking to you, but you don't see the person.
Exactly.
They're calling you by your name, but you don't see the person.
Exactly.
And every day, first they make you look stupid. Then they was hurting me so bad when they got me fired from my other job. Well, really, he let me go for no reason. But anyway, they had something to do with that.
Exactly.
I was tortured every night, every day and every night. I mean, I was in constant pain. My teeth began to rot because of them. They were it was like they were pulling my teeth with no anesthetic.
Oh, wow.
That's how much pain I would be in. Okay, they did the teeth. They couldn't do the ears because they had something. They have something down here in my ear.
Okay, and that was another one that you said they had. They did another operation right there, or how would that? Well, I should say, how would they pop? Well, how was it possible that they put that chip there?
Well, when Dr. Lau squeezed my sutures, they took, like I said, he was telling them, well, come on, let's get her back into surgery. And I could hear the nurse saying what I told you. Well, why did he do that? He was squeezing her sutures and blah, blah, blah. So I went back into surgery. When I woke up again, it was 11:30, 12, something at night.
Exactly. How many meds were you on after you did the surgery? How many meds did they have you on, and was one of them a narcotic?
No. What I had was, they gave me 5 blood pressure pills. Now this went, eventually, it went from 1 to 2. It gradually started going up. And the most that I ever had was when I came here to Georgia, was the Motrin for my arthritis.
Okay.
That flared up.
And none of those was not either, was no hallucinogen, no narcotics, nor nothing.
No.
So everything that was happening to you was happening for real. That was
for
the
real.
real thing.
Yes.
Real thing. Okay.
It was for real.
That's for those who have any questions for her, and you want to talk to her, personally. You get down her information and send her a comment, and ask her some questions. She need help on this situation, and I'm helping her as much as I can. And we got 2 more questions, and we finna get out of here. We almost at the 15-minute mark. How did your weight change over the years of 1994 to 99?
I gradually began to gain. And then I got bigger, and everybody's like, what are you eating, But I didn't know at the time. My stomach would poof out. And then it'd go back down. Poof out. Then go back down. So I never, it wasn't steady until, like I said, I came down here to Georgia.
Okay, another question too. I'm going to add another question in because we almost out of time. That's after they did the implant in your stomach, right after they did the sutures that was messed with your sutures. That's when they did the other.
They went right back in. Yeah, I have another scar that doesn't explain, but I have another scar here. And they went right back in. When they went in, they placed the chips. Yeah. I have something here by the esophagus, and there's something here and something here.
Okay.
So, there was something down here, too.
Okay, we got pictures for that, too. What action did you put, what did you put into action, or what help did you get after you noticed that you started going crazy? About the stuff that they did to you. You're going crazy about it because they doing this stuff to you, and you need help. And, you talking to me about the mayor, too. Tell me something about that real quick.
Well, this happened here in East Point. I went to see the mayor to get some help. And she called my friend back and said, don't send no more crazy people to her.
Oh,
and
wow.
That was Patsy, whatever, the mayor of East Point.
Oh, wow. Well, we're done with this part 1. We're going to continue that same part right there where we left off at in part 2. So check out part 2. We have way more to talk about. Part 2 is going to deal with 2000 year and all the way up to 2005. So we'll see you later, YouTubers. Get back at us.